Listen up, motherfuckers.
Oh.
It's the end of the week.
It is.
Which means it's the fucking indie news.
It is.
I don't know why I'm so angry or why I have so much attitude towards you, but let's just get into results. We're gonna start with Kevin Hawk because he had a show on Friday.
Yeah, PWG Presents Prince.
Rest in peace, Prince.
Definitely some card is subject to change moments on here because
there was a lot of that with our shows actually.
Yeah, because Cage wasn't able to make it, and I guess I'll just go into one of my quick news segments. Is that Zack Sabre Jr. got hurt last week at WXW show. Split his arm open on the ring post. Required stitches, and he decided for his safety, basically, that he is going to cancel all of his dates up until the 12th Resistance Pro show, where he goes one-on-one with Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle.
Which is smart because he's got the WWE Cruiserweight Series coming up in July. So
yeah, and
smart on Zach's.
Yeah, it's Zach's always upsetting when somebody has to bow out of a show because of an injury or a personal issue. But for this case in particular, it's a very smart career movement.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know you're going to be getting this exposure with WWE. You need to make sure you are in top form when you wind up on the most prominent stage you've ever been on.
Yeah, and not even that, but I mean, just that his first match back after his...
Against Kurt Angle.
Be Kurt Angle.
Yeah. You gotta be on top of your game there for sure.
That's also a lot of eyes are going to be on him because somebody that has that stature, who was top guy in WWE and in TNA. Kurt's amassed a big fan base. There's going to be a lot of people wondering who this guy that they've probably never even heard of going against Kurt Angle is.
Yeah.
Why the hell isn't he in America?
So, without Cage and without Zack Sabre Jr., what the hell happened at PWG?
We had Adam Cole defeat Dalton Castle.
Baby!
We had Michael Elgin defeat the debuting Kamaitachi. I don't know
if you know who that is, post down in the comments.
There's pictures of him. Marty Scurll defeated Mark Andrews. Andrew Everett was defeated by Trevor Lee.
Oh.
Chris Hero defeated Mr. Athletic Jeff Cobb. Cobb got a huge, apparently, ovation at the end of his match. A lot of please come back chants. Drew Galloway, who was supposed to go against Cage, ended up going against mystery opponent, who ended up being Michael Elgin, wrestling for the second time. Drew Galloway would take that one. And in the main event, instead of having Elgin versus Sabre, they had the already scheduled Roderick Strong versus Sami Callihan.
Which I'm sure was a killer main event.
Absolutely. Roderick Strong would defeat Sami Callihan with interference by Adam Cole and then using his Orange Crush backbreaker. And then they beat him down 2-on-1. Sami Callihan was saved by all people, Dalton Castle. And apparently gave him a smooch as a thank you for saving him from Mount Rushmore.
I'm trying to picture that duo in my head. Sami Callihan.
Yeah, the American Death Machine, Sami Callihan, and the Party Peacock.
The Party Peacock. Wow. I don't think you could get much more polar opposites.
Yeah. That's my result for the weekend.
All right. Well, I'll take it over then. So just so you know, I am talking about the New Japan Best of the Super Juniors. I'm only going to be hitting those matches as far as results and upcoming. If you want to know the results or what other upcoming matches there are, the New Japan in English link is down in the description. You can go to their events page and you can find out all the matches that are going to happen. But we're going to focus specifically on the Best of the Super Juniors 23 tournament. So, on the 19th, both Matt and Nick Jackson, respectively, had to pull out of the tournament due to different injuries. I know you know what the injuries were, correct?
Nick Jackson broke a rib, and I believe Matt Jackson broke his hand. It happened in the same match.
Oh, wow. Well, Matt Jackson was replaced by David Finlay, and Nick was replaced by Chase Owens. So
good choices.
So two young boys getting a shot in this big tournament, so let's get into it. On Saturday, from Korakuen Hall, we had the following Super Juniors matches. We had Rocky Romero defeat David Finlay, who was taking Matt Jackson's place. Gato defeated Bushi. Ryusuke Taguchi defeated Matt Sydal. And Kyle O'Reilly defeated Kushida. So it's 2 points each for each of them. And then on Sunday, this one was hard to say.
Yeah.
it was the other.
You struggled.
Yeah, the other one that was difficult to say. This was on Sunday.
We'll put the name on the screen.
Yeah, I don't want to butcher it again. But we had Jushin Thunder Liger defeat Bobby Fish. We had Beretta defeat Voladar Jr. And Chase Owens actually beat Will Ospreay.
All right.
So Chase Owens, replacing Nick Jackson, gets a win. So we have 2 points for all of those guys, and we got a lot more upcoming shows as far as the Super Juniors is considered. But we're going to talk about we already talked.
News stories.
Yeah. Do you want to keep going with the Saber thing, or were you kind of done? With that one?
I've covered pretty much. Saying he's out until the 12th.
Right.
Which we agree, good decision. Also, another note about PWG Prince is Alberto Del Rio was in attendance. There's a couple pictures of PWG wrestlers with those guys.
For a guy who I don't necessarily give a shit about in WWE, he has been on the internet a lot these past couple weeks because not only was he at PWG, but apparently he's dating Paige.
Yeah, they went to Disneyland together.
So,
and I feel like a lot of WWE stars find themselves at PWG shows from time to time because we've had other, William Regal's been at a few.
Right.
And I just like to think that maybe Del Rio's their scouting talent.
That'd be awesome.
Because he's not on the card at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view.
Oh, that's true.
So he didn't have to be there over the weekend to do anything, so why not scout talent?
Huh.
Or maybe he's visiting a friend. Maybe he's got a friend. Maybe he met Jeff Cobb between seasons of Lucha Underground.
Maybe. I'm trying to think of who else there could have been. I mean, he was wrestling in Mexico, so I mean, he could have wrestled with fucking anybody.
Yeah.
So.
And the other bit of independent news, which is technically normally not independent, but because of the fact that it is somebody being released from WWE, it makes them independent news.
It does make this one specifically makes a pretty big impact on the independent scene, because if we start seeing this guy pop up, I think WWE is going to realize just how much they screwed up letting this guy go.
Yeah, and we're talking about Cody Rhodes.
Yes.
Cody Rhodes on Monday asked the company for his release, asked Triple H at the Raw taping after learning that his match had been bumped off the card to the Superstars card. And he said it was in a moment of great clarity he realized he wanted to ask for his release.
Yeah.
And then it was today WWE announced on their website officially that they had granted him his release.
That being Sunday. We're recording this on Sunday. If you didn't catch that already.
And, good for Cody Rhodes. It takes a lot of balls to ask for your release from a company like WWE.
For sure.
Because, by all means, WWE has the options of saying no. You have to work out your contract.
Yeah.
Or also saying, no, we won't release you from your contract, but, go ahead and sit at home for 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah.
And we just pay you the bare minimum to not be anywhere else.
So, yeah, and it's unfortunate because, you don't realize how good Cody Rhodes is, especially with the fact that he's been covered up by the Stardust gimmick for so long. Granted, we enjoyed the Stardust gimmick. He's fun. It's a throwback to the real goofy 80s and early 90s gimmicks that we had forever. But Cody Rhodes, from the first day he stepped in on the main roster, he's been impressive consistently. Yeah.
And it's a cool thing because, he mentions that, first getting up onto the main roster, getting to basically learn as he traveled, because I guess he was doing a lot of work with Arn Anderson and Finlay in his early days, and then having Hardcore Holly sort of be a mentor to him. But just, with the last 6 months or so, he's been really unhappy with his place in the card. has been trying really hard to get rid of the Stardust gimmick, which I understand. He's frustrated creatively because, I mean, he doesn't get any kind of creative input. He talks about the emailing the writers for Raw and SmackDown and calling them and having them not respond to his emails or not reply to his calls. Not getting anywhere when he brings that up to Triple H or Vince McMahon.
Part of me thinks that, especially with the unveiling of the Dusty statue at WrestleMania, you gotta think that they had Goldust doing this 5-month thing with R-Truth. You gotta think Cody Rhodes wanted at least one of them to be paying tribute to Dusty.
Yeah.
You gotta think that was, not only to further his career, because Stardust wasn't going to be the end-all, be-all for Cody Rhodes, but you gotta think that he wanted to not only further himself, but he wanted the Rhodes name to be on TV, especially with all the adulation that we've been giving Dusty since he passed away.
Yeah, and that's one of the big things he hits on, is that it's like, he says no matter how hard he would try, that he knows Stardust is not going to be the legacy that Dusty Rhodes leaves behind.
No.
Because that's just going to be a Cody Rhodes offshoot thing.
Yeah.
And he wants to help further the legacy of the Rhodes family.
Yeah.
And he talks about the fact that he's been trying. He'll take anything that WWE give him and run with it to the best of his extent.
Yeah, that's how Stardust got over.
Yeah, Stardust getting over. The whole
the mustache thing,
ugly face with a mask on Cody Rhodes.
He
using
has killed
a mustache as a gimmick.
He's killed it with everything that he's been given. He was the best part of Legacy.
And all I can say right now is, if you are indie bookers, indie promoters, there is one thing you have to do right now. And I don't even know if Cody is taking indie bookings. He talks about that he could potentially continue wrestling because that's what he is. He's first and foremost, he's a wrestler, but he has options. He says he already has offers for TV, movies, and theater.
Good for him. I think I know where you're going.
I'm saying Rhodes Scholars.
Yes. Damien Sandow is going to be facing Colt Cabana at a Global Force show here in the next month or two. So yeah, you wanna cash in on what's gonna fucking sell your tickets. You get Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow, you're selling anything out.
I'm saying Chikara right now.
Oh, yes, king of fucking trios.
You get Cody Rhodes, Damien Sandow, and Swoggle.
Yeah,
as a trio. Or Brian Myers, or put them with Jervis Cottonbelly. Put them with Colt Cabana.
Anyone. You know what? Put Brian Myers with the Rhodes Scholars, and then get like Masquerada Sagrada, Masquerada Dorada, and Swoggle as a minis trio.
Yeah, this is the first ever minis trio.
Do that. That'd be fantastic.
Get on it. Let's. So, I could go on and on about this, and I might. I just want to touch on
we might do an extra video to talk about stuff like this later in the week, but we'll.
I want to just take a little touch on this. This is the second time in like 2 months that a wrestler with a tenured career in WWE has asked for their release.
Yes, the first being Wade Barrett.
Wade Barrett's been with the company since, obviously, the beginning of NXT and the Nexus.
Yeah, it's so
it's about 7 years.
Yeah, 2008, 2009. So.
And now Cody Rhodes, who's been with the company for 10 years,
yeah,
is asking for his release because he's unhappy with his position in the company.
Yeah.
And recently, we know the big stir that Ryback caused, talking about being unhappy with a lot of the company's policies online. It's starting to come out that, this online forum for WWE superstars and people who are now former WWE superstars to express their frustrations is really letting out a lot of negative little flaws in the WWE day-to-day.
Yeah.
That's not really painting the WWE in a great light.
No, not at all.
Because, you're talking like Ryback and Wade Barrett, both 7 years on the roster.
Yeah.
and Cody Rhodes 10 years on the roster, and these guys are saying, well, we've been around this long, and, creative is doing crap for us, and, we don't have any of the sway that some people have, and this and that. It's kind of frustrating. Like, I didn't think much about it at first, but the more I think about it, the more frustrating it gets for me. Because you do have to realize that they're now getting overshadowed by guys who literally came in months ago.
Yeah, and then,
AJ Styles is a big name dude.
Yeah.
Obviously. But them and having Anderson and Gallows, who just showed up like 2 months ago, being popped into the top storyline.
Well, and
every show of every week, every Raw and every SmackDown, they have a segment.
Yeah, and Kevin Owens is only hitting a year on the main roster now.
Yeah.
So that's and no pun intended. That's the crossroads you come to when you have people have been wanting these indie stars in WWE for so long, and when you finally get them, that's awesome. And we talked about this a couple weeks ago with what they're going to do with Austin Aries, especially now that Shinsuke is on the NXT roster. But you get to a point where there's so many people, and you have Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, Anderson, Gallows, Zayn, all the new people from NXT, the Vaudevillains, Enzo and Cass, Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin. You have all these people come up. What are you going to do with the guys that already don't get all that TV time? Stardust hasn't been doing actual storylines since SummerSlam.
Yeah. And it makes me think, though, it's like, where on the totem pole do you have to be when you can't get anything done the way you want it creatively, but then WWE spends months and months repackaging the colognes again?
Yeah.
This is now the second time they've been repackaged and put on TV.
Yeah, and they got no reaction this time.
I don't know. There's a lot of frustrating stuff going on now.
Yeah.
But I don't want to dwell on it anymore because that's WWE and this is indie news.
And we have a lot of upcoming shows.
We do have a lot of upcoming shows, and you've got a good block of Super Juniors tournament stuff happening this week.
Yeah, every day this week except for, I believe, Thursday. Yeah, Thursday and Saturday are the only days from Monday until Sunday that don't have New Japan shows with Super Juniors matches. So,
well, I mean, they got 7, 8 people in each bracket.
Yeah,
each person has to fight each other person in their block. So they've got a lot of matches to cover in a short amount of time.
Yeah, and the finals.
It's not like the.
Now the finals are only like a little over a week away.
Yeah,
it's on June 6th, I believe.
It's not like Challenge of the Immortals where they had, they had 10 teams, but they had I think 8 months.
Yeah.
To get all their matches in.
Yeah.
There's 2 8-person round robins happening simultaneously, and they have like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's a lot to get in. So we got a whole block. We'll get into it. So on Monday at the Niigata Tsubame Civic Gymnasium, we have Matt Sydal taking on Bushi. We have Kyle O'Reilly taking on Gato. We have Reisuke Taguchi taking on David Finlay, and we have Kushida taking on Rocky Romero. Then on Tuesday at the Yamagata Yonezawa Municipal Gymnasium. Holy crap, that's a lot of big words.
They got a lot of gymnasiums happening.
We have Beretta versus Will Ospreay, Bobby Fish versus Ricochet, Jushin Liger versus Chase Owens, and Tiger Mask 4 versus Volador Jr. Then on Wednesday, I'm not even going to try this one.
Names on the screen.
Iwate Gymnasium. That's all I'm going to give you. Ryusuke Taguchi takes on Rocky Romero. Kushida takes on David Finlay. Kyle O'Reilly versus Bushi. And Matt Sydal versus Gato. Then on Friday, back at Korakuen Hall, I know that one. We have Ricochet versus Will Ospreay. Jushin Liger versus Volador Jr. Bobby Fish versus Beretta. Tiger Mask versus Chase Owens. Then we round out on Sunday with Kushida versus Ryusuke Taguchi. Kyle O'Reilly versus Matt Sydal. Rocky Romero versus Bushi. And David Finlay versus Gato. So currently,
that knocks out like half the matches.
Yeah. So I think that's what they're going for. So we'll have updated, but just to let you know, in Block A with 2 points, we have Gato, Kyle O'Reilly, Rocky Romero, and Ryusuke Taguchi. Bushi, Finlay, Kushida, and Sydal have none. Then in Block B for 2 points, we have Beretta, Chase Owens, Jushin Liger, and Ricochet. Bobby Fish, Tiger Mask 4, Volador Jr., and Will Ospreay have 0. So we'll give you an updated bracket results point system next week for Indie News. But that's it for Super Juniors. We got a whole lot more because we got Chikara and all kinds of stuff going on. So let's go.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna preface this by saying that Chikara's already done 3 shows in the UK, maybe 4
mini shows.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they're doing it in conjunction with other promotions in the UK,
Which is cool.
So their guys and other guys are kind of facing off, and there's some Chikara showcase matches happening, which is awesome. But I'm going to spare you the results of those because we have so many upcoming shows. Starting with on Friday, we have AIW's yearly JT Lightning Memorial Tournament. This year, they've changed the way the tournament proceeds from round to round.
All right.
This year, it's going to be 12 first-round singles matches on night 1, and then night 2 will hold 3 4-way survival-style matches, so first fall to a finish.
Okay.
And then end.
Fatal 4-way.
Yeah, end with a 3-way eliminator.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
But what's interesting is who they have in the first round of the tournament.
Tell me.
All right, so one match is going to be Louis Linden versus Cheech Hernandez.
Ooh, that'll be good.
We're going to have Little Guido, FKA Nunzio, versus Tim fucking Donst.
Ooh, that'll be good.
We've got Cedric Alexander going against Veda Scott.
We know what happened last time they faced off.
Yeah. We've got BJ Whitmer going against Candice LeRae.
All right.
We've got DJ Z against the Laredo Kid. We've got Alex Daniels versus Britt Baker. We've got Hot Sauce Entertainment imploding as Tyson Dux takes on Hot Sauce Tracy Williams. Then we've got Raymond Rowe versus Big, what is his name? Big Damo O'Connor, who is, if you have not seen this guy is fucking massive looking.
Yeah.
There's a picture of him when I said that because there's a graphic for this match,
Mm-hmm.
and there's not very many dudes that I think look scarier than Rowe.
What?
But this guy looks scarier than Rowe.
He's a big dude.
And he's
I don't remember where we saw him.
And he's not, that's not the last time he's going to be on any upcoming shows here.
Oh.
Then we're going to have Colt Cabana versus Homicide.
Ooh, we know what they can do against each other.
Yeah. And then we have Johnny Gargano versus the returning Josh Alexander.
Oh,
now,
cool.
Josh Alexander, had his retirement last year due to his neck injuries.
Yeah.
Is apparently trying to make a comeback now.
Hell yeah.
So he's starting with the JT Lightning Memorial Tournament as far as in the Americas is concerned, and he's going to be on another show in the upcoming weekend here too. Also, we're going to have Colin Delaney against former WWF superstar, former UFC fighter, Dan the Beast Severn.
Well, you got to put him somewhere. Why not with Colin Delaney?
And then why not round out match 12 as 2 former WWE talents face to face? Brian Myers versus Billy Gunn.
Nice. By the way, I'm stupid. It wasn't Cedric Alexander and Veda Scott that went against each other.
Candice LeRae.
Yeah, when he brought up Candice LeRae, I was like, oh yeah, I'm a fucking moron. Cedric Alexander and Veda Scott are actually like a unit together in Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
So that's where I got that mixed up. I'm not a complete moron. Moving on.
All right. Also on Friday, though, across the pond, as they say, and this is in Birmingham, England. Chikara. Their first of 4 anniversario celebration shows catching fire. Where we're going to have Ophidian versus a mystery opponent. This was supposed to be Ophidian versus Zack Sabre Jr. But Zack Sabre Jr. having to pull out of the show.
That's a fucking dream match I would have loved to see, but unfortunately, Zack Sabre Jr. is too damn smart and decided to take himself off the shows.
Yeah.
Calm down, playlist. Good lord.
But I wouldn't be surprised to see Sabre try to make this show up at some point. Because
so?
that's just the kind of guy he is.
I mean, it is like how. Where is he from? Is he from?
He's in England, yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, he could possibly be there.
Yeah, I mean, he comes over all the time for AIW and PWG and stuff like that.
True.
So,
yeah.
And he's going to be in town for fucking WWE Cruiserweight Open.
Yeah.
So why not? We're also going to have Fire Ant versus Hermit Crab. We're going to have Juke Joint Lucas Calhoun versus Stewie Scrivens, formerly known as Rick Beanbag, Touch Phillips, Bug Nevins, Scoot Tatum.
So yeah, that's the other one.
Chuck Taylor, and now apparently over the weekend I've heard now that he's gone by Karate Durling, and at one point tried to pass himself off as Trent Beretta.
Oh no! Oh man, I would love to see him like come out in like full Trent Beretta get up and try and do everything that Trent Beretta does. That'd be awesome.
Also, we're going to have Heidi Lovelace teaming with NRG to take on Frightmare and the Batiri. Officer Warren Barksdale goes one-on-one with Drew Gulak. And then in the main event, interesting tag team dynamic as all four Chikara Grand Champions over the history of the belt face off. Princess Kimberly, the current Grand Champion, teams with Eddie Kingston, the first ever Grand Champion. And they take on the two middle champions, Hollow Wicked and Icarus.
Which are now...
Hollow Icarus.
Which are now a reformed tag team.
Yeah, they're night shift all over again.
Yeah, just a little different.
Yeah. I really hope Icarus brings back that Ichabod Slane mask then.
What if that's his thing in like being part of the Nightmare Warrior? That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Then we move on to the 28th, where we're going to go back to AIW, back to Cleveland, with Back to the Future Cup.
Hey.
This is another tournament that
Back
AIW...
to the back.
AIW is doing 2 tournaments this weekend.
Go AIW.
Because they have the JT Lightning Memorial Tournament going on, but they also have the Back to the Future Cup, highlighting their current graduated class of trainees.
Cool.
And it's going to just be an 8-person, 2-round tournament where it's going to be 4 singles matches and end with 1 4-way match.
All right.
And we're going to see Garrison King versus Joshua Singh in the match that rhymes. Frankie Flynn versus Kaplan. Brian Carson versus Space Monkey. And Dominic Guarini versus Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham. The winners of those will all face off in a 4-way match. The winner gets to pick a match of their choosing at this summer's upcoming Absolution 11.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
They're also advertising that Weird World will be in a match, and their opponents have yet to be announced. Also, then later that day, a few hours later, they're going to pull up the second half of the JT Lightning Memorial Tournament, which will be the semifinals. The semifinals and the finals.
So the Fatal 4-Ways and the 3-Way Eliminator.
A lot of other action involving the talent that were eliminated in the first round.
So expect a lot of results next week.
Yeah, there's a lot of results because we're still going. Also on the 28th, we're heading back over the pond for
Chikara again!
With Niversario Chamber of Secrets. This is coming from Manchester. We're going to have Icarus taking on Juke Joint Lucas Calhoun. We've got Ophidian versus Hermit Crab. We've got Eddie Kingston versus Chuck Taylor, trademark. We've got the team of...
It's the black one.
Yeah. We've got NRG going against the Gentleman's Club, which I would believe will be Stewie Scrivens and Drew Gulak. And then we're going to have Kimberly, Heidi Lovelace, and the Colony versus the Nightmare Warriors, Hollow Wicked, Frightmare, and the Batiri.
Ooh.
In a 4 versus 4 Atomicus match. But that's not what, those are all going to be great matches, but everyone's eyes are on the prize because the main event for one night only is going to be World of Sport rules. I believe it's 8 rounds, 3 minutes apiece, 2 pinfalls, 2 pinfalls to win, 2 submissions to win, or 1 knockout to win. It's going to be Mr. Smooth, Johnny Kidd, who's hanging up the boots. He's hanging his boats up.
Hanging up the boats.
His shoes might be huge. They're like boats.
You got big feet.
Yeah. Hanging the boots up after this because he's going 1-on-1 against Lightning Mike Quackenbush, who's coming out of retirement for this match.
Oh, man.
So talk about what might be the best technical wrestling match of the year. that could very well be it.
Absolutely.
So that's probably the next on my list of events that I'm going to buy on DVD right away.
I would not be surprised.
Because you know me in the World of Sport type matches.
Oh yeah, they're always good.
And that's what's happening on. So we got the Back to the Future Cup, Night 2 of the JT Lightning, Niversario, Chamber of Secrets, all happening on Saturday.
All
and then we're moving on to Sunday.
Sunday.
Where we go to Beyond Wrestling. They're hosting 2 shows out of Aurora in Providence, Rhode Island.
Back to back?
Yep. The first
Doubleheader.
The first one's going to start at 3 p.m. It's supposed to go 3 to 5, but there are a lot of matches on this, and if it only takes 2 hours, I will be impressed. But the next show is scheduled from 5 to 10, so I'm guessing they can start and stop the shows whenever they feel like it.
Wait, 5 to 10?
Something like that. It says on the Facebook
5-hour show? Jesus
Facebook
Christ.
invitation. But first one is going to be Beyond Wrestling Presents C5, which is a benefit show, a fundraiser show for Brandon Watts, one half of the tag team Milk Chocolate, who are regulars at Beyond Wrestling shows. Apparently he injured his neck fairly severely. He's left with some pretty hefty medical bills, and $5 worth of every ticket sales is going to go to helping him pay his medical bills, which means if they sell out C5, that's going to be over $1,000 worth of donations. Plus, they're selling raffle tickets. So if you're in the area and you want some cool prizes, go to those shows, buy tickets to go into the show, and then buy raffle tickets to get prizes, because they have prize packages being sent to them from Blitzkrieg Pro, Ring of Honor, AIW, Chikara, Smart Mark Video, and a lot of other promotions are all chipping in to send prizes for the raffle.
So for all of that information condensed into one little page, link in the description, lookmonofans.com.
Yeah, and we'll go on to what some of the matches are going to be at C5. We're going to have the Crusade for Change versus Team NYWC. We're going to have...
That's going to be a great match. I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, Dave Cole and Anthony Stone versus The Hoods in a no DQ tag match. We're going to have Massage NV versus the Cam and Connection. Mephisto versus Jordan Grace. Hot Sauce Tracy Williams is going against Sugar D. We're going to have Brian Fury versus Chuck Cold Steel O'Neal. David Starr versus Joey Janela. Jonathan Gresham in a rematch against John Silver. And in the main event, Matt Riddle goes against Tommaso Ciampa.
Hey!
And then right after that, I'm guessing they're going to start their show that was normally scheduled there. Is called Gigantic. And then I realized
5 to 10.
I realized why the show was so aptly named, with the exception of the fact that they're going to have Veda Scott versus Alexis as a Women's Wrestling Revolution showcase match.
Okay.
We're going to have the Hit Squad having an open challenge, which is called the Open Challenge Tag Team Hoss Fight. So they're looking for a large, burly team.
Which the Hit Squad are large, burly dudes.
To go against each other. Then also, we have scheduled the Tag Team Hoss Fight, as EYFBO goes against the Monster Mafia, Ethan Page and Josh Alexander. So this is Josh Alexander and Ethan Page getting back together.
Huh!
Like I said,
awesome.
And
Josh Alexander coming back.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have the match that's on there labeled Hoss Fight, as JT Dunn goes against Mr. Athletic Jeff Cobb. And then we have a first time ever Hoss Fight between Donovan Dijak and Keith Lee. And then we're going to main event it with the international Hoss Fight, as Chris Dickinson goes one-on-one against Big Damo O'Connor.
Okay, I'm guessing it's 5 hours long because they're expecting a lot of these guys to take a while to get to the ring. Then they got to have their match. Then it's going to take a while to get them back away from the ring.
Every one of them except for the women's match is labeled Hoss Fight in some respect.
Well, that's because Alexa and Veda Scott are tiny.
I never usually go and list off the titles of all the matches on Beyond Wrestling shows.
You have to.
But that was just too much fun to not. So yeah, a lot of big guys are fighting on that card.
Enjoy it.
also on Sunday, back across the pond for
Chikara again.
that's going to be Niversario, the Two Towers.
Hey.
And this is going to be from North Shields, England. Last year it was their third show was in Newcastle, but the venue was deemed not big enough to hold the Chikara fans who wanted to be there.
Right.
So they are going to North Shields, where we're going to see Officer Warren Barksdale versus Stewie Scrivens, Soldier Ant versus Chuck Taylor, trademark, Eddie Kingston versus the Hermit Crab, Heidi Lovelace versus Lucas Calhoun, Fire Ant versus Ophidian, and then Kim and the Kim and the Court. Kim and her round table, something like that. It's going to be Princess Kimberly, Team NRG, and Los Ice Creams taking on the entirety of the Nightmare Warriors, Hollow Wicked, Frightmare, Icarus, and the Batiri in 5 versus 5 Atomicos match.
All right.
And then lastly, which this might get its own special video because it's not taking place on the weekend, it's taking place on Monday. Because yes, it's a 4-show Niversario celebration.
Chikara! Again! And again and again!
There we go.
I was just trying to go big, because it's...
Yeah. We've got Chikara, the Lost World. This one coming from Glasgow, Scotland. Where we're going to have Officer Warren Barksdale versus Chuck Taylor, trademark. Lucas Calhoun versus the Hermit Crab. Ophidian and Eddie Kingston, former teammates of the Snake Pit, taking on Frightmare and Icarus.
Ooh,
A lot of people are saying that there's a good chance that Ophidian and Eddie Kingston will not be getting along well.
Uh-oh.
Heidi Lovelace will be taking on Nixon Newell, making her Chikara debut. She's a lovely female talent from across the pond. Then we're going to have the Batiri versus the Colony versus Los Ice Creams versus Team NRG in a 4 corners tag team match. NRG is looking to stop any team trying to amass points in their tracks. And then the main event is going to be the Grand Championship on the line as Kimberly defends against the person that she won the title from.
This is the rematch.
Hollow Wicked. And you got to remember, if we're going off of Chikara UK tours, Hollow Wicked's got a good track record because it was the main event of the last show of the last tour in which Hollow Wicked won the Grand Championship from Icarus.
And now he's got Icarus on his side, along with the rest of the Nightmare Warriors. So, the decks are very much stacked against Princess Kimberly.
But it's not like she doesn't have...
Nah, she's got NRG, she's got Jervis, she's got... Well,
Jervis isn't going to be there, but
she's got
NRG, Ice Creams, and Heidi Lovelace are all teaming with her in some... And Eddie Kingston are all teaming with her in some capacity over the weekend.
And you got to think, who else have the Nightmare Warriors pissed off? So...
Yeah. So that's a lot crammed into one weekend. And all of it's going to get resulted next weekend. So get ready for a lot of results. It's tournament season.
Yeah, and I might actually have ROH results next week. I don't know if I will, though.
Yeah, it's tournament season because, not only we got B's going on, but coming up in a few weeks is Combat Zone Wrestling's Tournament of Death.
In July, we'll have the Cruiserweight Classic. The summer's going to kick it off. Because
Cruiser, and then... it's not that long until we get King of Trios in September.
And Bola.
And Bola. That's another quick news story. PWG announced that they are not having a show next month. They're going straight to July.
Oh, okay. Taking a month off.
Yeah. So that's what I got for upcoming shows.
That's all we got for indie news.
That's it for indie news. Thanks for sticking around if you stuck around.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure this was a long one as far as indie news are concerned.
Yes.
But there was a lot of material to cover. Check back next week. I'm going to have my first ever upcoming show for Attack Pro Wrestling.
Yeah. Join the list of links down in the description, which you should click if you want information
all
for
the
all these
people that we talk about are going to be there.
Yes.
In them links. ChikaraPro.com.
LookManoFans.com.
AIWrestling.com.
New Japan's down there.
CZWrestling.com.
And
WBN
many,
Live,
many
lots
more. And we want to add more. We're adding Attack Pro because Jamie suggested that we should, and we appreciate that. Thank you, Jamie. So if you have another promotion that you want us to talk about, post down in the comments. Post on our Facebook. Tweet at us if you've got Facebooks, Twitters, Tumblrs, YouTubes, websites, anything that has information on these particular promotions. We will be sure to
send it
add
to any of our social medias.
We will add them to our list. We will give you a shout out and we'll start covering their shows. So you can click all those links for all of our social medias. Any way you want to get a hold of us, email, all that stuff. If you want to listen to us
Twitter machine.
If you want to listen to us podcast style, there's a link down there. But if you're watching the videos, there's a playlist up there.
Hey, it's got a lot of stuff in there.
There's all the usual reviews this week. Plus, there's Extreme Rules predictions because we're about to watch it. And then starting next week, episode 102, we'll be having our Extreme Rules review. Unfortunately, Thomas Wolf will not be with us. He has prior engagements, but you'll get the two of us talking about Extreme Rules.
Maybe if I swing it, we can get a guest appearance. If I can swing it.
We'll see what happens.
I can't guarantee nothing.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.
See you at 102, people.
Yeah.
Peace out. Fuck. Nobody's Titus on the Jim Cornette. All of them.